Howdy. With this video, I want to go over a major idea with the realists that the realists are going to bring up. Just go over the schedule quickly. You should be reading, I'm doing this video on Valentine's Day, February 14th. You should be reading that excerpt on realism from our textbook. Realism, fairly straightforward kind of idea. Getting away from this highly symbolic or highly emotional kind of writing with the romantics. We're not going to have some hunchback from Notre Dame, at top Notre Dame, uh, you know, looking at Esmeralda and falling in love and things like that. Kind of focus more on real people, real situations, or at least plausible situations. Particularly getting into questions about what motivates people, what constrains people, and what happens in terms of our morality within these given situations people have to deal with. Should also be reading Dostoevsky's biographical information. Fascinating guy, fascinating to read about and see what's informing his writing. Also going to read Kate Chopin's The Storm there. This kind of a classic Kate Chopin writing where she presents a situation and then kind of tosses it back at the reader and say, well, what do you think? Is everything okay? Or what kind of, can you really pass judgment on these people if for doing engaging in certain behaviors? You should also be responding to the blog number 3 post of 2 other people. I've sent that assignment via email. For Saturday, going to stay with the realist, reading the Rod of Justice there, taking us to South American literature for a second. But you're going to see the same kind of question with the realist. It's like, what really motivates people? Are we really basing our actions on some inner voice, this daemon or this spark of God within us that's supposed to guide us through lives? Or are we subject to all these different pressures that are going to have various influences on us that might be good, might be bad, might be a little ugly sometimes. What motivates us always isn't always very pretty. I'll post blog number 4 tomorrow. I'm a little behind on that. I apologize. I'll give you all an extra day if you need it to finish blog number 4. I've been having to take care of some family business this week, and it's put me a little behind, and I apologize for that. Next week we'll get into the modernists and get ready for the midterm exam. That'll be essay questions. Kind of getting us ready for Denmark and some of the questions for essay number 2. And of course, making sure you're reading what you're supposed to for these next 2 weeks. But after that, right, 2 weeks from tomorrow, we'll be leaving for Nashville, and then in 2 days and 2 weeks from now, we'll be flying towards Denmark, or at least towards Detroit, at least, right? Eventually getting towards Denmark. As you're thinking about Denmark, make sure you get your copy of Nella Larsen's Quicksand. Quite often, Quicksand's bundled with her other short novel, Passing, so you might end up getting both novels in one book. But if you just get Quicksand, that's fine. But make sure you're getting that. We're going to be reading this in Denmark, and this is what the second essay is going to be based on. So you do need a copy of that. I don't think we're going to need our textbook in Denmark. It's a heavy book to carry around, and we don't want to load ourselves down too badly. Also, regarding Denmark, you might want to take a look at the TSA's, Transportation Security Administration's website about what you can bring on airplanes and things like that. They talk about how to pack liquids and that kind of stuff, just so you don't get your bag pulled aside or something like that. Kind of interesting to go down the list, see what you can take. If you want to take your lucky antlers to Denmark with you, you can actually do that. I didn't know you can take antlers on an airplane, but apparently you can. Has to fit in there, and kind of be careful about silly stuff like that. You may not be able to bring it home. The security folks in Denmark might go like, you can't take antlers on an airplane. Why would you even want to do that? So be careful there. But you might want to go through the website and make sure you're not about to take something you're not really supposed to. Or if you have a question about something, you can see what you need to take. And also make sure you notice the difference between checked and carry-on baggage. But with the realist, the one big idea I kind of want to talk about, it's kind of something I'm going to be talking about for the rest of the semester, is this question of determinism. And by determinism, I mean determinism versus our sense of free will? Are our lives products of decisions we make, and just a natural outcome of make good decisions, good things happen; bad decisions, bad things happen? Is it really that simple? Or are our choices in life kind of limited or determined uh, by various forces or influences that are maybe a little beyond our control? One thing you're definitely going to see with the realists is this emphasis on putting people in specific social situations and specific places. Sometimes, particularly with American literature, it's called regionalism, where Kate Chopin's going to put you in the bayou, and people are going to talk like they do in the bayou. We want to see real people in real situations. People are interested in the world and the broader world around them and what's going on in these different places. Um, but this idea of determinism is a pretty powerful idea if you start thinking about it. We like to think that we make choices and that's what's making our lives happen. Um, but if you start thinking about different things that might limit your ability to choose, for example, why did you choose Northeast State for college? Did your ACT test scores have some kind of influence on that? Did how much money you have an influence on what college you're able to attend? Or more importantly, it does how much money your parents have dictate where you're going to go to college. That's going to happen with my children. I can tell you that. I'm just a mid-level government employee. That may limit their choices on where they can go to college. For that matter, why do you go to college in the first place? Is it because you want to, or is it because the economic system you find yourself a part of by accident kind of dictates that you better go to college if you expect to be even remotely successful in the economy you're going to participate in as an adult? Um, so you kind of get into questions like that. It's um, of course, what kind of high school you went to. Not always something you get to choose. And all these different things, what kind of genetic material your parents handed down to you, and maybe other things that you can't control, limit the actual choices you make in your life. And when you come to Northeast State, you don't get to major in what you want, you get to pick one of the things we offer. So all of a sudden your choices are limited there. So, how much choices are you really making, in your life can be a very interesting question. Um, it's one of those things these realists are really going to focus on quite a bit. And also, what this question is going to do is if our choices are kind of limited, if we don't really have free will in the level that maybe the romantics thought, where we listen to this inner voice and act upon it, and that'll guide us, truthfully through our lives. The realists are going to start saying like, that's not really how people make decisions. That's not what really motivates people. And so they might put people in extreme situations where, we're all moral, upright people, but don't feed us for 4 or 5 days. And these biological needs to eat and survive start taking over. And all of a sudden, what we thought was motivating us kind of falls to the side, and this biological imperative to survive starts taking over. And how's all this kind of just function within our lives? Are we kind of victims of these big forces that really limit what we can do and how what kind of choices we can make? Um, and it's really kind of interesting, and particularly how it affects morality. Um, can we really judge somebody like at the end of the storm? You're going to be like, oh, okay, I don't know about that. But Kate Chopin's kind of throwing it at you that, hey, if Studley McDo-Right, who you knew years before, suddenly rides up to your house on a white stallion, and this is the guy you've always kind of had these biological feelings for, uh, what are you going to do when this guy rides up to on your porch on a rainy afternoon? And if you act upon those impulses, these biological imperatives, are you really making a moral decision, or are you making a decision that other people can really judge in a way that we might have previously? Uh, so a very interesting question is, do people just do what they do to survive? What kind of effect does that have on us as moral beings? The realists are really going to start getting into these kinds of questions. And you're going to see Nella Larson doing the same kind of thing. It's going to get a little more complicated in quicksand. Uh, but so kind of think about that idea as you go along. Do you really make choices in your life, or are you just kind of conforming to your cultural, social norms and the way your family's raised you and the expectations society's set upon you? It's kind of an interesting question, um, and something that the writers from here on out are going to start asking in a fairly major way. But I want to kind of introduce that idea, kind of get it percolating in the back of your head as you're reading the material. Some of these realists you're going to kind of get to the end and go like, okay then. That's not what I don't know, but that's kind of what the realists are pushing you to do is what really motivates all of us as human beings. And it's sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes maybe a little on the ugly side there. Um, but I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. If you have any questions for me, be sure and let me know. But hopefully everybody's, like I said, getting even more excited. Like I said, just uh, a day and 2 weeks, and we're going to be traveling off to Nashville to catch our plane. Looking forward to it, and like I said, we'll talk to you later. I can get this recording stuff. There we go. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.